Democrats' chances of taking back control of the Senate are plummeting as key Senate Republicans are surging in statewide polls. This could have a gigantic impact on the 2024 election. In a Senate race that could ultimately decide control of the Senate, Democrats are panicking as the Republican challenger is up in the polls and up big. Later in this video, I will show you what that Senate race is. So let's jump straight into it. The Senate is made up of 100 senators, 2 from each state. Currently, Democrats hold 51 seats in the Senate compared to Republicans' 49. That means if Donald Trump won, Republicans would only need to pick up 1 seat in the Senate to have the majority. Democrats are dealing with a very hard Senate map this year. Out of the 34 Senate seats up for election, Democrats are defending 23 of them. To make matters worse, Democrats are defending 3 Senate seats in states Trump won by 8, 16, and 40 points respectively. Let's take a deep dive into each one of them. So let's start off in West Virginia. Donald Trump won the state of West Virginia by 40 points in 2020. Right now, a Democrat represents West Virginia in the Senate, Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin narrowly won West Virginia in 2018. This year is when he's up for re-election. After polls coming out of West Virginia showed Manchin down and it being a presidential year, Joe Manchin decided to retire, basically handing Republicans this seat. So, if Republicans hold Senate seats they currently have and Donald Trump wins the presidency, Republicans would already have a Senate majority with J.D. Vance's tie-breaking vote. Before we continue, only 3% of you all watching are subscribed, so if you enjoy this content, please subscribe. It makes a big impact on the channel. So with that said, let's get back to the video. The next state we will look at is Ohio. Ohio was once considered a bellwether state and a toss-up, but in recent years, Ohio has turned to the right, voting for Trump by 8 points both in 2016 and 2020. Out of Ohio's 2 senators, one is a Republican and one a Democrat. Sherrod Brown, the Democrat, is up for re-election this year. The last time Sherrod Brown ran for office in a presidential election was 2012, when Barack Obama won Ohio. Sherrod Brown outran Obama in 2018 by 3 points. While Sherrod Brown is up in the polling average by 2 points over his Republican challenger Bernie Moreno, Trump is up in Ohio polling by close to 8 points. In order for Sherrod Brown to win, he would have to convince 9% of Republican voters in Ohio to vote for him, which is becoming harder and harder to do in this polarized environment. So, with that would be another flip for the GOP. Now we come to the Senate race that Democrats are actually panicking about, the Montana Senate race. Donald Trump won Montana in 2020 by 16 points. Jon Tester, the Democratic incumbent, has been outraising his Republican challenger in this race, while Republicans have been outspending Democrats in outside spending for the Montana Senate race by about $15 million. Even though Jon Tester has more money than Tim Sheehy, his Republican challenger, he is still down in the polls by 5.5%. While Jon Tester has outran Democrats in the Montana ticket before, Tim Sheehy is by far running the best and most well-funded campaign Jon Tester has ever been up against. Democrats have started to panic in this race, and instead of pouring more money into Montana, they have spent money in long shot seats in Texas and Florida, so that if they lose Montana, maybe they will be able to pick up a seat to make up for Montana. So as you see, Republicans with that win would have 52 Senate seats already. That's without even looking into the swing Senate races in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, and Arizona. So let's start off in the Pennsylvania Senate race. Bob Casey, the Democratic incumbent in Pennsylvania, is facing up against Dave McCormick. Dave McCormick is running as a moderate Republican and has great financial backing. In fact, Republicans are outspending Democrats in outside spending by about $36 million. Polls in the state have started to tighten, with Bob Casey leading by only 4 points in the latest poll. While Democrats have the advantage right now in the Pennsylvania Senate race, the race is very close and could definitely change. Our next state up is Michigan. With incumbent Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow's retirement, there is an open Senate race in Michigan. Democrat Alyssa Slotkin and Republican Mike Rogers, who are both considered quality candidates for their party, will be facing off in November. Republicans see Michigan as a key pickup Senate opportunity and have been pouring money into the race. Back in 2020, Joe Biden won Michigan by 2.8%, but the Democratic Senate candidate only won by 1.7%. Mike Rogers is a good candidate for the Republicans, and he could definitely win this seat even if Trump loses Michigan. As of right now, Cook Political Report classifies this race as a toss-up, and it is expected to go down to the wire. The next Senate race that we will look at is Wisconsin. Incumbent Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin is facing Republican Eric Hovde. Eric Hovde is a wealthy businessman who can self-fund his campaign. As the race in Wisconsin tightens, Cook Political Report has changed its classification from lean Democrat to toss-up. This race is expected to go down to the wire, with Republicans and Democrats spending large amounts of money in this race. Next up, we have Nevada. Incumbent Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen is up against Republican Sam Brown. The polls in Nevada have been very wacky, showing Jackie Rosen leading by 9 points in the polling average. This race is most certainly going to be decided by under 5 points, as the presidential race in Nevada is very, very close. Sam Brown, a war veteran, is a good candidate for the GOP, but has not had very good funding, giving Democrats the edge in this race. Our last race that we will look at is Arizona's Senate race. Both parties have chosen more extreme candidates, with Democrat Ruben Gallego being part of the Progressive Caucus and Kari Lake isolating McCain Republicans in Arizona. In this Senate race, Gallego leads in the polling average by almost 8 points. Kari Lake has not been well funded in her bid, and it shows in her polling numbers. But Donald Trump is leading in the polling average in Arizona, so if he wins by a large margin, Donald Trump could possibly pull Kari Lake over the finish line. If Democrats cannot win any Republican seats back, it does look like Republicans will have an enormous chance of winning back the Senate. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash the like button down below and subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before election day, and I would really appreciate your support. Also, comment your thoughts or suggestions in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.